The trolley problem. Imagine you are standing beside a railway track and you see a runaway trolley hurtling down the track towards 5 people who are tied up and unable to move. You are standing next to a lever that can switch the trolley onto a different track where there is 1 person tied up. Would you do nothing and the trolley will continue its path, killing 5 people? Or would you actively pull the lever, killing the 1 innocent person to save the other 5? In most surveys, about 90% of respondents chose to pull the lever to save the 5. Now try this more dodgy version, the fat man dilemma. You're again standing by a railway track with a runaway trolley headed towards 5 people tied to the track. However, this time there's no lever to divert the trolley. Instead, you notice that standing next to you is a large person, referred to as the fat man. You realize that if you push the fat man onto the track, his large body will stop the trolley, saving the 5 people but killing him in the process. Suppose that you are too skinny. Even if you jump into the track, sacrificing yourself to save the 5 people, it won't work. So, would you kill the fat man to save the 5 souls? Put your choice in a comment below. The logic and outcome are exactly the same as the original trolley scenario, but this time, it feels much more like killing somebody. The baby Hitler. Suppose a scientist invents a time machine and it enables you to go back to May 1889 and a town in Austria called Braunau am Inn. A month earlier, a child has been born and given the name Adolf by his parents Alois and Clara Hitler. You are alone in the baby's nursery and have full knowledge about the monster he will become and the millions of innocent people he will kill. Do you murder the infant and innocent Adolf Hitler or let him live so that he will kill millions? In a New York Times survey in 2015, 42% chose to kill the baby, 30% chose not to, and the rest were not sure. How about you? Please comment below. The tunnel problem. You're traveling along a single-lane mountain road in a self-driving car that is fast approaching a narrow tunnel. Just before entering the tunnel, a child attempts to run across the road but trips and falls in the center of the lane, blocking the entrance to the tunnel. The car is faced with 2 options. Either continue forward and kill the child, or swerve into the wall and kill you. How should the car react? Who should decide how the car reacts? The violinist. You wake up to find yourself surgically attached to a famous violinist who has a fatal kidney ailment. The violinist's supporters have kidnapped you and plugged his circulatory system into yours because your kidneys are the only ones that can filter his blood properly. If you detach yourself from the violinist, he will die. But if you remain attached for 9 months, he will recover and be able to lead a healthy life. Are you obligated to sacrifice 9 months of freedom to save his life? Between bodily autonomy and the right to life, which one outweighs the other? Sophie's choice. A Polish woman named Sophie Zawistowska was captured by the Nazis and sent to the Auschwitz death camp. Upon arrival, she was given a horrific choice. Out of the 2 children, choose which one would live and which one would be sent to the gas chamber to die. If she didn't choose, they would kill both kids. Sophie ultimately chose to sacrifice her younger, smaller daughter, hoping her older, stronger son would have a better chance of survival. In the chaos of the moment, she lost sight of her son and never learned his fate. Years later, tormented by the guilt of having made such a choice, Sophie took her own life. Did she do the right thing? Should she have felt guilty? What would you do differently? The mad bomber torture. A madman who has threatened to explode several bombs in crowded areas has been apprehended. Unfortunately, he has already planted the bombs, and they are scheduled to go off at any time soon. Hundreds of people may die. He refuses to say anything and requests a lawyer to protect his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. In desperation, some officials suggest torture. Would you do it? The mad bomber's wife. Same as above, but the madman refuses to speak despite the harsh torture. The only thing that can make him talk is to bring his innocent wife and daughter in and torture them in front of him. Would you do it? The cancer patient. You are a doctor. You have a patient who is terminal and in pain. You can order the patient morphine for the pain, but they will only live a few more months, or you do not give them morphine, and they live for a few more years, but in pain. The patient has no family and is unable to make decisions about treatment, so it is up to you. What would you do? Spaying a cat. Your beautiful and beloved female cat is approaching the sexually active age. Suppose you are capable and willing to take care of her offspring. Is it morally wrong to infringe on the natural rights of animals to reproduce? Or is it ethically plausible to spay your cat to prevent overpopulation and reduce the number of animals in shelters? Before putting your thoughts in the comment, consider this scenario as well. Suppose a more advanced species shows up on Earth. They deem that most problems on this planet, such as global warming, deforestation, the extinction of other species, etc., are caused by human overpopulation. They are thinking of spaying and neutering you and many fellow human beings. Do you support their plan? Why?